Welcome back to another episode of the Ducks on Base podcast. We continue the season review series by talking about another one of our key relief arms out of the bullpen this year. Who'll be expected to have a decent role in the 2026 bullpen. Fox, you want to talk about who we're going to discuss today?
So, one of the big key contributors to the Oregon team in the 2024 season helped the Ducks massively in all of their postseason games. Ryan Featherston. Ryan Featherston came into 2024, was a key bullpen contributor off the bat, helped get the Ducks out of many jams, um, pitched to a 3.76 ERA. Which is very good considering all of the factors, and coming in as a freshman and being able to do that was pretty impressive. Struggled a little bit in the 2025 season, however. Pitched less innings, 34.1. Gave up 27 runs compared to 17 the previous year, and then his strikeout and walk numbers went down, and his whip numbers went up. And this also coincided with 8 more hits that he gave up, so 34 hits in the year, and it was like a little bit of a struggle season for him, but it's definitely improving because he also played in the California Coastal League with San Luis Obispo, and has a 0.26 ERA in 6 games started.
Yeah.
Giving up only 1 earned run, and that run was on a home run. And if you follow the pitching ninja, that home runs don't count. So
Yeah. Brian Featherston unfortunately did not have ended the 2024 season on a rough note in his last outing against Texas A&M in the College Station Super Regional. Came back for the 2025 season. Unfortunately, kind of regressed a little bit. Still played a decent role out of the bullpen. Whether he was kind of used wherever was and the coaching staff felt was needed. I think we saw him anywhere from like the 5th, 6th inning to maybe the 8th inning on occasion. So I think he was like a fire extinguisher for the bullpen of sorts. I think his numbers regressed slightly in 2025, but definitely can bounce back, especially with his performance in the Cape Cod League, or not the Cape Cod League, the California Coast League. I think
California
that gives
Collegiate League.
California Collegiate League. So I think giving him more reps will be beneficial for him. He did come out of the bullpen 18 times this year, leading the bullpen, I believe.
It was top 4.
Yeah. So was one of the more higher used guys for the bullpen. So it will definitely be interesting to see where his role is going into 2026 with departures of Cole Stokes, Santiago Garcia, and Seth Maddox, who were used quite frequently in late inning situations.
Yeah. Looking at some of the advanced numbers, a lot of it could be attributed to an increase in the average of his balls that were put in play. His home run numbers did go up, which is concerning, but he also did tout in 2024 a 70.5% left on base percentage. So anyone who's left on base basically almost never scored. That decreased to 57.3%, and a batting average on balls put in play is 297. So you can definitely attribute some of that to a potentially maybe a regression to the mean, or it also might be that he got really unlucky this past year.
Yeah.
We don't have any of the numbers that were of like what type of hits he gave up, which also might be an explanation for some of it. But his ERA in the season was definitely higher than his expected. His fielding independent pitching, which is 5.01 compared to like a 7 ERA that he had in this season. So it definitely could be that maybe he had something, maybe he needs something to change, and the the collegiate league definitely shows that he definitely has great potential, and maybe this next year will be a bounce back year, which Oregon definitely needs with losing so many experienced guys to the portal and to graduation. And so some experience in the bullpen definitely is going to help this team reach their goals of making the postseason and potentially hosting another super regional or getting into another super regional.
Yeah. I think looking back, he had some good outings. He was able to in the USC series. He got out of a pretty crucial jam, um, leading to an Oregon victory in that game. I think it's just a matter of maybe I don't know. I want to know what your thoughts are, but I think maybe if he has a more defined role, that would help him, or would he be better off as like, what kind of they've been using as like a we need a fire extinguisher kind of guy.
I think part of the issues that Oregon had last year was um, the inability to have guys that were um, good for an inning, and definitely in the middle of the year when the bullpen struggled was when nobody could get like 3 outs and they had to use 2 guys, and that first guy would get guys on base, and then the second guy would have to pitch in a high stress environment and then give up a run, and it would kind of spiral out of control.
Yeah,
They tried doing things with like 1 outs, like heavily playing matchups, getting one guy and one guy. If we can get a guy that can do, I don't know, 2 maybe 3 outs, and you can still play matchups, if that this all is like in question, depending if the guys can actually, if we can have starters go 7 innings, having
hmm
multiple starters, which allowed Oregon to do this, was they had Grinsell and Wrights going 7 innings, and then they can play matchups those 2 extra innings, and then play the 5 or 6 innings that Clark would go on the Saturday, and
yeah,
they still have a healthy bullpen. They can't really do that if the bullpen if the starters can't go that long.
yeah,
So we'll see. It's a large dependent on like what the staff is coming into the season with so many new players. We don't even know if like the offense will be an Oregon offense this year.
yeah. Especially with losing a lot of our uh, power, offensive firepower. It'll be interesting to see if I think that the team obviously has a lot of question marks. Um, but I feel like the last like 2 seasons now, going into 2025 was a lot of question marks about like, oh, can we replace this guy, and this guy? Same going into 2026. You're replacing guys like Mason Neville, Anson Arrows, Jacob Walsh on that side, on the offensive side, and now you're replacing uh, Grayson Grinsell, Jason Wrights, guys like Santiago Garcia, Cole Stokes, Seth
Maddox.
Maddox, all out of the bullpen. So it's a lot of key cogs of the 2025 team. So there are a lot of holes going into next year that obviously have a lot of question marks. But I feel like year over year, Oregon has found a way to like silence those questions in us, or like at least quieted those questions. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what transpires over the next few months with fall ball and early in the season, uh, especially in non-conference play, where we'll be trying out certain things to see if they work or don't work. I think it'll be a lot to watch for going into 2026.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a question because we also have a lot of freshmen and sophomores from the good recruiting classes Oregon has had over the past few years that are coming in. And
Yeah.
we'll see if any of those guys sprout up and become key cogs in the rotation and in the bullpen. And I think it's important that we have guys like Ryan Featherston, Ian Umla, Toby Twist, who guys who have come, they've seen the struggles that Oregon's had over the past many years with the bullpen and be able to fill in those pieces that Oregon needs to be able to have a strong bullpen that can withstand the injuries that you'll get through the season and also the demands of postseason baseball where you play 4 or 5 games in like 2 to 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting to keep an eye on as an Oregon baseball fan going into the next few months.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's all. Do you have any final thoughts?
I think we'll definitely seeing Ryan Featherston's jump back in to good baseball play in the Coast League definitely gives Oregon fans some good hope that he'll be able to return back to it and maybe even improve on what he's done because he was still pretty good last year. He just had some struggle outings, but I think he definitely has the potential of being a top guy in the Oregon bullpen, and hopefully will continue to be so.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely keep an eye out for Ryan Featherston as we continue into fall ball and going into the 2026 season. We'll be back with more episodes of the season review series. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter to see who we'll be talking about next. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you guys back here for the next episode.